America. My name's Corey Schilt. In the recent years since 2011, my family has repeatedly had felony, criminal acts done to us, with the point of having a vehicle defrauded from us, being sold to a young lady, and then Mark McCune, who is prosecuting attorney at this time, who is fixed to be District 3 judge in Crawford County, as appointed by Governor Asa Hutchinson, had informed me that he was going to prosecute the young lady. Here is the title to said vehicle, which was never returned, but was taken by the state and auctioned off and sold instead of my vehicle being returned. The young lady had initially stolen the vehicle. Maddie Avey was charged, according to this letter, by Mark McCune's prosecuting attorney's office, was arrested several times, according to this letter, by Mark McCune's office, and then approximately 5 months later, case was dismissed, and our property was never returned, as I had said. Now, with this piece of shit prosecutor who thinks that he is above the law, because I know of a case of a gentleman by the name of Rodney Meeks who was falsely arrested, falsely imprisoned by the Crawford County Sheriff's Office, by Sheriff Ron Dumbass Brown, and also by Mark Dick, I would like to call him, but his name is McCune, and nothing was ever done. This was since 2011. Now, over the years, Asa Hutchinson's administration, the Child Family Services, had made allegations of child abuse against my wife, which we filed a lawsuit in the federal court under Judge P.K. Holmes III, who in turn, his staff had incorporated to me that I needed to make a brief statement. But when I did this, they turned around. His decision was that I wasn't detailed enough or sought any type of punitive damages for the actions done by Lisa Jensen, the area director, who 7 months after the investigation, which was declared unsubstantiated, had filed charges of child abuse against my wife, which when we went to court, they had lost because their own investigator had declared that he never keyed anything into the logs for the Department of Human Services, Child Welfare Services. Now, Judge Tracy Bagwell, upon this, hearing this case of child abuse, and their own investigator stating the fact that he didn't key in the log and he didn't know what anybody was talking about, had no choice but to go ahead and dismiss the case. But upon dismissing it, he did ask Megan Murphy Potts and the investigator, William Jerome Tyndall Jr. of DHS in Crawford County, why Lisa Jensen, the area director of Crawford and Sebastian County, was not there defending her agency. They said they didn't know. Well, being that I had asked her to rethink her decision of what she did, and she had told me that she was not going to do so, I had clarified to her that if you pursue this, I will sue you in a federal court, which we did, and which is still standing in the Supreme Court to this date, with no justification and no justice to my family once again. Everything that has been done over the years, repeatedly, felonies done to my family. A former deputy sheriff up the road from me, a piece of shit by the name of Ronald Heath Shores, had threatened my life after I confronted his daughter about her 3 kids, bullying my child to the point that she had made a statement of killing herself to another student in school. Now with this, all I'm trying to do is the right thing, and I tried to squash it, and this piece of shit threatens my life to where I take him, I file charges, the charges are upheld, and we go to court. Now, the prosecuting attorney, Mark McCune, once again goes and changes a felony statute to a misdemeanor. With that, I had addressed him on it, and it took 4 months for them to bring this to court, and even Judge Charlie Baker, what's up, Chuck, had asked them why it took so long to get that into his court, being that they changed it to a misdemeanor. Well, when it comes to government officials, they feel that they can pretty much do any damn thing that they want to do. Well, I'm here to inform you, America, that these bastards work for us. We do not work for them. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution, but because I have a felony conviction for cocaine distribution and possession, because when I was a young man I made a mistake, I was a dumbass, and I became addicted. I didn't go to any rehab. I just seen that I didn't have a family, I didn't have children, and I didn't have a life, and I was a stupid young man. Upon that, I changed my life. I moved from my home state of Pennsylvania, who also had done many things against my mother, which if anybody would like to check on that up in the Dauphin County Common Courts, they can check on how they had covered up 3 hospitals merging in order to keep her from getting her injury that they had caused, because she received a letter from somebody in the hospital, God bless whoever that was, that post-op after her cancer was removed, that they had dropped her from the operating table, lifting her to the gurney on her head to where she received an injury called myofascial pain syndrome, myofascialgia. With that, she hired an attorney in Lebanon. I can't remember his name, but he then hired an attorney in Harrisburg by the name of David Dowling, whose father, the not so honorable Charles Dowling, was chairman of the board of one of the hospitals merging together. These hospitals were the Polyclinic Medical Center, the Harrisburg Hospital, and Pinnacle Health, which I'm sure down here in Arkansas you're all familiar with because they're a pretty large establishment. With that, they had deprived my mother of her right to justice because, of course, as you know, David Dowling being her attorney, his father being on the hospital's chairman of the board back in 93, I think it was 1993, that's pretty big conflict of interest. But the Harrisburg Patriot and the news affiliate stations up there didn't want to cover the story, being a high-profile case, so they doped my mother up with so much amitriptyline and other bullshit medicines that she wouldn't listen to reason. I'm not a bad person, but in my younger days, I wasn't so good. I didn't do anything to go out and harm anyone. I never made an attempt to cause strife in anybody's life like a bunch of these pieces of shit here in Arkansas. You have good people, but you most definitely in government got your trash. Now with that, continuing down the road again, coming back to the incidents here with Mark McCune's office, after Ronald Heath asshole had threatened my life and they changed the statute from a felony to a misdemeanor, and I have over 900 recordings of professional misconduct, malicious behavior, and just straight up arrogance to deny my family of their rights, including bullying in Alma School District, false report and false allegations by Van Buren School District, the principal, Miss Woods, superintendent, I think his name is Kerry Snyder of Van Buren. So we moved from Van Buren in our home there to our home here in Mulberry, which got pretty good. My kids enjoy and they love. God bless us all, and God bless you all. To then go to the situation of the Alma Police Department continuing to violate our rights when we had addressed them on their issues. Now here I have multiple reports from the Alma Police Department of incidences against my family. Here again also, I have multiple reports of incidences against my family from the Crawford County Sheriff's Department from Sheriff Ron Dumbass Brown. Now, these individuals seem to think because I have a felony history and 5 misdemeanor warrants in Pennsylvania that are non-extraditable, and I haven't done crap in 20 years but changed my life for the better to help people, to the point that I even had state troopers come up in an auto accident and shake my hand for doing the right thing and stopping to help the injured people just outside of Alma on Highway 64. Once again, I'm not a bad person, but I am not going to tolerate government officials like Asa Hutchison, Asa, I mispronounced his name, denying my family the right to representation. And when the administration hears of all these incidents that I quoted to them, for the past 8 years, my family has received nothing but ignorance instead of justice. Well, there's a thing that I've been learning from YouTube. A lot of you people might want to go to it. It's like Cop Watch, and there's a gentleman called Rogue and other things. They do a thing, it's called First Amendment Auditor. With that, you can film in public just like our government does to us. And they have no right, as long as it's a public facility, a courthouse, a public hospital. Don't do a school, people, because there are children. And that would piss anybody off, including me, because I have children. So please stay away from that agenda, because our children need to stay safe. But Governor Asa Hutchison, you will be meeting me here very shortly, and I will be filing a lawsuit against the state of Arkansas for the collusion of behavior that has been done to my family by all of your offices, and the fact of non-neglect done by y'all. And oh yeah, Senator Byron Allen Clark, as a matter of fact, when I had called you and left my message, I asked you to be a man. I have the recording that you left because you were so arrogantly smart-ass enough to say to me that I don't care what happens to your family, I'm not going to represent you. Well, for a sitting United States Senator to be such a fucking prick, I can do something about it. I don't do violence, but I do financial recompense. You took money from me all my lives in this frickin' country, and now I plan on taking money from you. God bless, have a nice day, and kiss my ass.